do it. I will also say nobody's actually done it. So it's a statement of faith. It's a reductionist faith that you will be able to do it one day. My question would be, why should you have that faith? And I found that quite an interesting question. Why do people have the faith in reducible materialist science? Why is that such a strong faith? I occasionally look at the blog, which is Richard Dawkins' blog, which is called, I think, Reason and Science, the foundation. And the statements on that website are so full of hatred and stupidity and ignorance that I can't believe it. And these people just insult one another routinely. And these are all atheists, you know. It's not religious people doing this. It's people who are coming under the banner of reason and science. They say, what a fucking stupid statement. Well, that's reason. So you have to ask the question, what is meant by reason in this context? And why should Dawkins and people like him associate reason with science? I don't know. So to say a few words about reason from the humanities point of view. If you're studying the humanities, any humanity, a reasonable view has to have two main components, if you hold a view reasonably. First of all, you have to know the criticisms that could be made of that view. You have to be self-critical. You have to search for the question, why do I see things in this way? What's my perspective? I happen to be, I can give you an account of what I am. I'm a fairly elderly, English-speaking philosopher interested in religion. A man. So that gives me a specific perspective, and I have to say, well, clearly that's going to limit the things that I'm going to say, and I will allow that I have to be very self-critical about that, open to why people disagree with me about that. So to be reasonable, I have to see what the deficiencies in my own view are, even though I'm probably not going to accept. I'm not going to change my mind, usually, but at least I can see that I'm not the only sensible person in the world. My view's only one among many. So self-criticism. Secondly, a very important thing, if you're going to be reasonable, is to be sympathetic to your opponents. To present their view in a way in which they would be happy to see it presented. That's the fundamental point. You don't present somebody else's view in a parodying way, as though it's a stereotype that they'd never accept. And that's what you don't get on Reason and Science blog. You never get a religious view presented sympathetically. It just doesn't happen. So it's an intrinsically irrational blog. It's an irrational website. You should be called irrationality in science. Because what it says is we are not going to be sympathetic to views which differ from ours. Richard Dawkins has said this quite explicitly. He said what we ought to do is ridicule religion. Don't respect it. He said it in his last public speech in London was, don't be so bloody respectful. Well, is that reasonable? It's rhetorical, certainly, but I think it wouldn't be called reasonable.